Hey guys, this is some experimental stuff I've done just to see if see how well it does in public. I'm kind of playing around with different ideas in comedy, seeing what works and what doesn't. So I had to shave a bunch of material off to make time up on the stage because you're very limited, and I've added some of that material back in. That's why it doesn't match. So hope you guys like it.
This next comic, I've never seen him perform. I'm really excited to. Give it up for Dingo Jack!
Well, if it makes you feel better, Chad, I'm 50. You know, I never had any respect for serial killers. You know, you flash a knife around, you could trade a monkey to do that. And a chainsaw? Loggers use them. You don't have to be that smart. You know, and then Jeffrey Dahmer, he thinks he's stepping it up a little bit by eating people. Donner, real similar. If he would have been on the Donner Pass, he just would have been another guy lost on a hike. Nothing special. I'm not impressed. Sorry. But when you can take your toxic nature and spread it to the general public and make them as bad or as worse than you are, that's next level. And I'm talking about like Jim Jones, David Koresh, some of these other guys. There's a mountain of them. And these guys as motivational speakers left Tony Robbins at the starting line, if you think about it. And, you know, as people, we like to think we're not susceptible to that kind of thing. We're not gullible. And maybe we're not, but if the right person came along, you never know. You know, I think about the original Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and James Earl Jones plays this guy who starts a cult. It's called the Double Snake Cult, and they got this cool double snake salute, you know.
So you got a bunch of kids sitting around, and they're talking about religion, and one kid says, what religion are you? I'm agnostic. Oh, I'm Episcopalian. And another kid says, I'm Double Snake Cult. And they're like, you're what? Double Snake Cult. And the kid's like, whoa, where do you meet, dude? And he goes, you're not Double Snake material. Forget it. Go do your escapades religion.
You know, and you know, Arnold, during the whole movie, Arnold's trying to get at him to get revenge. And at the end, he gets him cornered and he says, I've got you cornered. Now I've got my big sword. I'm going to cut you up. You know, and James Earl Jones does this funky mind trick on him. He looks him right in the eye, you know, and he goes, you made it this far with the passion that I gave you. For who now is a father to you if it isn't me, my son? My son. And you could tell Arnold for a brief second he thought about doing the double snake. But he caught himself, you know, and he's just like, no, I'll get to the chopper, you know, and hacks the guy and then leaves, you know. But I think about that. If you had a big burly guy with a deep voice, and James Earl Jones likes telling white kids he's their real dad for some reason. It worked on Luke. It almost worked on Arnold. You know, but the right guy comes along, you never know, you know, what could happen.
And that could work on me, because I have a hole in my heart where my daddy left me.
And so I started thinking about it, and all of these guys have one thing in common. They're bloodthirsty, maniacal, manipulative, dirty guys, and they got all these guys, you know, strangers running off cliffs like lemmings, you know, to their death. And then all of a sudden, Jesus comes around, and he's like, hey, dead guy, don't be dead anymore. Come on, get up, you know. And then he says to all these people, you know, hey, you know what? Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Let's all be cool. You're cool, I'm cool. And then all of a sudden, a group of guys, right when they first hear him, they're like, hey, let's throw this guy headlong down a cliff. You know, and then another group of guys get together, and they're like, no, let's beat him in the head with some rocks. And then finally, this one guy says, no, let's put him up on display, so if anybody else gets any ideas, they'll see this and change their mind. And when one guy wants to do something good, you know, it's weird because it didn't work out, but but the point is the Colts won, and that's what's weird to me. The Colts won, and so I was thinking, you know, why couldn't we start a cult? You know, I mean, we got plenty of people here. We could start a cult. You know, now I'm looking at this guy. You look like a free thinker. You look too smart, so you're out. But that's okay. I need you because we need people to persecute. You know? And then I see a guy, no, this guy's better looking than me. You're out. Sorry, dude. You're on the persecution list. Oh, and all the chicks, they go to the prophet. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to decide to be called prophet or savior. One of the two, whichever one's smoother. But yeah, guys, I think we can do this.
Give it up for Dingo Jack one more time. He's starting a cult, guys. I didn't think that I was going to be in a cult with Dingo Jack by the end of the night, but that's what happens at open mics, guys. You never know what's going to happen, okay? Follow along.
When I want people to walk by me and say, I'd shoot myself in the face for you, prophet. And I might say, nah, just your nose, my son. Just your nose. My ego needs just a little bit of a boost today. When interviewing Charles Manson, you could say, hey, so why'd you shoot up the McDonald's, man? He might say, well, I wasn't planning on it. I just wanted a cheeseburger. I didn't like the customer service.